Let me take off from that to Darryl. Darryl, if I might come to you. We've been talking about the operators, right? Give us a perspective from somebody who has to play along in this ecosystem with regard to content versus connectivity, the relative merits of one versus the other.
First thing, I was very surprised by the 17 hours per week that Ravinder mentioned. When I look at my youngest child, I think it's 17 hours a day he's on social media. The kids today are driving the technology and the environment we're in. But I think, NDCP, the National Digital Communications Policy, is a wonderful thing to lay the foundations for the future. Really good initiative. And the move to content and also for privacy is going to be a key part of that, which has been set out by the government in India. I think with the advent of 5G, this is going to be even more the case with more and more increasing content. Content we don't even know about today will be available to everybody. And there's a lot of focus right now in India, through the NDCP, connecting 600,000 villages with fiber, through the BharatNet, program, which is absolutely amazing. And that's going to completely be a game changer in terms of content delivery. But let's remember some things. To get that content, you're going to have to do a lot of fiber into India. The fiber networks are going to be critical to be able to do the ultra-low latency, to deliver that content. And one thing that I've learned, I understand today in India that there's 160 meg of spectrum split between 4 operators. So building all this fiber is going to be pretty useless unless you give the spectrum to deliver that content. So think about that. If it's 40 megs content today, and I understand there's a thinking of removing 60 meg of that, so that would give 25 per operator, then at the base station in a village, you'd get less than 100 megabits of output to an average village, 1,000 people. You're not going to get content. So, before you go and spend billions of dollars on fiber, then I would say to get the content you need and all these wonderful applications that are going to come available, it's going to be critical to solve the spectrum issue going forwards.
I think you touched upon a very important issue of spectrum. How much spectrum do you think would be sufficient for Indian telecom operators in a market of 3 to 4 players when we move towards 5G?
Well, it's got to be multiples of 40 megs. Do the maths. It's a long way from where it needs to be. I mean, I'm not an operator. I'm sure Ravinder is better placed than I am to say this, but just putting a reality check, 5G is going to be... The industry made a huge mistake calling it 5G. It should have been called 5000G. It's so radically different in terms of the opportunities for society and economies to evolve that the investment is critical. Yes, fiber's important, but that spectrum is more important because it's delivering wireless fiber with 5G to those villages. That's what you're going to have to do.
Darryl, your comments on this?
Well, I think that the masses will decide what the content is ultimately. And I think if we can get... It worries me a little bit when I hear we talk about connectivity, to be honest with you. 20 years ago, yes, let's talk about connectivity. Today we should be talking bandwidth. It's all about bandwidth because it's bandwidth that gives you the content at the end of the day. And to do that, you've got to move to edge computing for latency, ultra-low latency. You've got to look at the slicing, hard slicing, soft slicing, how you deliver that for mission-critical services. Look, I'm a visitor to India, but I know a lot of Indians. And number one, most parents in India, they prioritize education, number one, for their kids. It is a fundamental here. Medical. If you can do remote medical to the villages and you can do education remotely, that's got to be a mission critical. But you're not going to do it with simple connectivity. Let's be realistic. It's not about getting Facebook on your phone or LinkedIn. It's about how can I deliver to the masses the things they really, really want, and also to give them the opportunity to innovate I mean, I keep saying it's not 5G, it's 5000G. And if you think of 5G as an evolution of 4G, we've got the wrong mindset here to open up the masses to innovation and to really create those value-added services. I also think it's a huge opportunity for operators, because partnering with OTTs for services has been a necessary evil. But going forwards, with 5G, you know, with ultra-low latency and all the high-grade services that you can offer for quality of service, premium services that you can do for all these new applications that we're not even thinking about today, is going to be an opportunity for operators to take back control of their margins, Ravinder, specifically. This is the opportunity. So I think, to answer the question simply, content's a great thing to talk about, but let's talk bandwidth with connectivity and the opportunity that it gives people to go and create the content that you want.